Any questions, please, apart from Muhammad Abdul Rashid and Mr. Bashir here? If anyone else has a question to ask, most welcome. So, roll to the microphone.
Okay. I've got a couple of questions. The first one is with reference to Anamta alayhim Khalid Maghdubi alayhim Walazali and the rewards promised. Is it possible for Jews to have those rewards after the coming of Jesus Christ, or the Christians to have them after the advent of Muhammad, peace be upon him? Or
if they accept Islam, yes, otherwise not.
With reference to Joan of Arc, for instance.
The style of this verse tells that the only way open now for the world is to obey Allah and obey this prophet, the prophet. مَن يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. Only these would be counted among those who have been rewarded previously by Allah. So that is as far as the reward goes. As far as forgiveness and gift from Allah, undeserved gift which is not necessary for anyone to earn. Allah is the owner, proprietor of everything. He is the possessor. So nobody can stop him from that. Moreover, this verse is applicable only to those who are in a capacity or in a position to obey Allah and to obey Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those people who are not in a capacity, for instance, who have never heard of it, or they were never given chance to be convinced if they ever heard of it, they are exempt from this because other verses in the Holy Quran apply to them. So it does not mean that they cannot be treated as salihin, because the Holy Quran tells us that there are others among Christians who are very pious people, and also there are very good people among the Jews, and salihin also are such as are good in the eyes of Allah. So that means that there are many other religions, there are good people everywhere. So there is no monopoly to goodness in Islam. If somebody believes that, that is Mullahism, that is not the Holy Quran's teaching. But the Holy Quran tells us that if somebody is in a position, fortunate enough, to accept Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he does not try to oppose him through illogical attitude, that is also understood. If somebody takes a stupid stance and a bigoted stance or illogical stance, then he is responsible. But if this is a precondition, this is understood. A man is normal, he behaves like a muttaqi, that is, he has a fear of Allah, and before taking his decisions, as far as he goes, he is quite right. Then if he sees, he finds an opportunity of accepting Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will positively do that. It's impossible for a right-minded person who has the opportunity to accept Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he still resists or refuses to accept. This is not a possible situation, because if this situation is governed by the first verse of the Holy Quran, Hudal lil Muttaqin. So Muttaqin here means the right-minded person who is rightly inclined. This is the very first definition of Muttaqin. So if such a person receives the message of the Holy Quran and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would definitely accept it, because it's a promise in the very first verse of the Holy Quran that he will definitely be guided. Also in other places there is such promise. Allazina jahadu fina lanahdiyannahum subulana. Those who genuinely try to seek our ways, we will definitely lead them to the righteousness. Positively, there's such a strong promise, so guided by these verses, the situation which I can conceive is this, that any right-minded person who receives the message of the Holy Quran does definitely accept it. So he falls under that category which you mentioned, or which I mentioned perhaps. That is the first question. So those who do not have that opportunity, to those this verse will not apply, because that will be very unjust on the part of Allah. The concept of Allah we have is not at all unjust. He is extremely merciful and forgiving and forbearing. So for such people, there are other verses, and they are very clearly applicable to them. So as far as the mankind is concerned in general, it has no complaint to make, no genuine complaint to make against this principle.
Another question.
Yes, please.